Hi, good morning, students. So, in the last class, we discussed about circuit analysis of the capacitor circuits, and we discussed some circuits and some methods to how to solve that circuits, and we discussed nodal method also. And I explained briefly all those methods because we discussed those methods recently for the resistive circuits. A similar procedure we need to apply for this capacitor circuits also. So that means I briefly explained that if you are practicing some problems what I gave, then you will get a more idea about those circuits. And so now in that one more model is remaining in that. So that is nothing but infinite circuits. So infinite resistive circuits we already solved in current electricity. Now we are solving this infinite capacitor circuits here. So now let us see this infinite capacitor circuit. So here such identical capacitors are connected in an infinite circuit like this. So now we need to find this effective resistance between A and B. So now our procedure is same as that of what we discussed for this capacitor resistive circuits. So that means this is an infinite series. So whenever such infinite series circuits are there, you need to identify the unit cell or one unit which is repeating to get the infinite circuit there. So such a unit cell is nothing but here you can observe that this circuit, this capacitor and this capacitor, that means this arrangement like L arrangement. So that is repeating here. If you are repeating that, then you will get such an infinite series of circuit. So that means now that is a unit cell. So that is the first part to solve this infinite circuits here. We need to identify the unit cell or the unit fundamental part of the circuit which is repeating to get the infinite circuits. Now as the circuit is infinite circuit, even if you are removing one cell from this infinite series or if you are adding one cell to that infinite series, there is no change in effective capacitance, right? Because like infinite series is there. So from a huge lake, if you are taking few drops of water, or if from a sea, if you are taking few drops of water, and we know that there is no any change in the level of this liquid, right? And so then similarly here, if you are taking one unit cell is removed from that circuit, then there is no change in that capacitor here. And so now similar effective capacitance there. So now for that reason, our procedure is we remove this one of the cell here. So that means I am removing up to here, I am considering here. Suppose say this point is C and this point is D. So up to CD points we are considering that. That means we are removing this. And so if one cell is removed, then there is no change in the effective capacitance here. So just to mention that, I'm taking that effective as C naught. Let C naught be the effective capacitance. Let C naught be the effective capacitance between AB. Between AB. Then effective capacitance between CD also, then effective capacitance between C and D also, C naught only. If you want again, you can mention that reason. We know since in infinite series, if you remove one unit cell, there is no change in effective capacitance. That is the reason. If you want, you can write in brackets. So because we discussed already in resistive circuits, I am not saying in detail. That means this is, we are removing this part here first. So this for the again remaining circuit also, that effective capacitance will be C naught only. And so now that C naught we need to add to the circuit here. That means now the resulting circuit, what I can write here is, so this is our AB part, whose effective capacitance will be equal to C naught, the effective capacitance between these 2 points. And now for this we are adding this one more capacitor here. That means the remaining this infinite series circuit we are adding here. This is our point D and this is the point C, right? So that means up to here we are removing this infinite circuit. We can replace that infinite circuit by a single capacitor of capacitance C naught. And so then that capacitance I am adding here. So this is our one unit cell. For that unit cell we are adding that one. So now that is our circuit now. So that is our circuit. Now we need to simplify just that circuit now. So that means this is C naught is in parallel with this C and that is in series with this C, and so that the total effective capacitance should be equal to C naught only, right? And so that I can write this as C naught is equal to, these two are in parallel and that is in series with that. So directly I am writing this, or this is, I will write like this, C plus C naught, that means these two, this is in series with C, this capacitance. Therefore, I can write this as C plus C naught into C naught C, by then 2C plus C naught you will get. And just you know the remaining procedure, you will get a quadratic equation and you need to write the factors for that. So let us simplify this. 2C C naught plus C naught square is equal to C square plus C naught into C. And therefore I can write this as C naught square plus C naught minus C square is equal to 0. We need to write the factors for this C naught here. So therefore I can write this as C naught is equal to minus C plus or minus under root of B square. The B square is nothing but you can write this as C square minus 4AC, so that is plus C square you will get, by this is 2A. And so then that is nothing but you can write this expression as C naught is equal to, so minus C plus root 5 into C, this value C square plus 4C square value by 2, right? Therefore this value we can write this as, so here it is plus or minus. Now from that you know that effective capacitance should be a positive value only. So we should neglect that negative sign there. We should consider only positive sign here. So I can write this as root 5 minus 1 by 2 into C. So that is the effective capacitance for that series there, the infinite series. So that is a way of finding that infinite circuits there, which is similar to that of our resistive circuits. So that means we remove this. We from this infinite circuit, our procedure is from this infinite circuit we are removing this one unit cell. So if you remove this one unit cell, as the series is infinite cell, there is no change in effective capacitance. So suppose actually I am assuming here this effective capacitance is C naught. So even after removing this first part or the first unit cell, the effective capacitance between C and D should be still C naught only, because it is an infinite circuit. So now what I am doing is I am removing this. So then effective capacitance of this remaining circuit is C naught. So that means now we can replace the total infinite circuit with a single capacitor of capacitance C naught. Now for that infinite circuit, again I am adding this value here. So once this value is added, then there is no change in the effective capacitance. That is nothing but our fundamental point what we are discussing now. So now I am adding that this unit cell to that infinite circuit. Infinite circuit means we are replacing that infinite circuit by this C naught here, single capacitor. Now we are finding this effective capacitance. Now our effective capacitance should be still C naught only, because that is nothing but what we discussed in the beginning. So then just we simplify this circuit, you will get a quadratic equation like this, and we need to find the factors for that equation there. So that is a way of solving this infinite circuits here. And now I am taking another small change in this. So I am taking one more capacitors here. So I am taking this one more capacitor here. Now you need to solve that problem. Just I am adding that one more capacitor there. So is it clear that just I am adding one more capacitor here. This is again C, and this is also C, and this is also C. Right? Is it clear? Again it tends to infinity, and we need to find the effective capacitance between A and B, the same value, right? So then practice this problem, a similar procedure. Just additionally this concept is there. That means additionally this capacitor is there. So finally, after removing that one unit cell and adding that one unit cell, you will get a circuit like this. So this is our AB part what we are removing here. So if you are assuming again this as a C naught, effective capacitance between A and B as a C naught, then here also you will get the effective capacitance as C naught only. So now that again we are replacing this total infinite series by that C naught, and so that C naught value we need to connect here. So just this is the circuit now, C naught C, and this is C, and this is also C, and this effective capacitance should be equal to C naught here between A and B. So just now you need to solve that problem, and again you will get such a similar quadratic equation and write the factors for that quadratic equation there, and finally in that roots you need to consider that roots like only that effective capacitance should be a positive value, right? So that is the final, and solve this problem. Now write the quadratic equation and simplify this value here. And so now I am giving some numerical example and try to solve that problem. So now I am taking a numerical example like this. I'm taking this capacitor like this. So such an infinite circuit is there like this. Now we need to find the effective capacitance here. So these are our points A and B. And so just let us take these values as, I am taking this value as 1 microfarad and this is 2 microfarad. And same, that is repeated here. This is 1 microfarad and this is also 1 microfarad. This is 2 microfarad. And this is also 2 microfarad, and this tends to infinite. So find the effective capacitance between A and B. So it is solve this problem also there. So right, so that is about this infinite series in this capacitive circuits. Next in this, the another important concepts will be there in this capacitor, like charge flowing through the switches and heat produced in that circuit. So that means those problems are very important and you should answer those questions carefully there. So now let us see those concepts now. So first I am explaining like heat produced in the circuits. So then heat produced in the circuits means in sharing of charges also we discussed that when the redistribution of charge is taking place there, then some amount of heat will be produced in that, right? So then some amount of heat is produced in that, which we calculated there, that initial energy minus that final energy is nothing but our loss of energy. So that loss of energy will appear as like heat energy. And so now here in general also, that means in general that heat energy, heat produced in the circuits we can calculate by using our conservation of energy. So just to let us see that, just to mention that the heat energy produced in circuits, can be calculated by using conservation of energy, which can be expressed as so now this is the equation, conservation of energy, what we are going to use here. That means I am saying that for every problem related to that heat produced in the circuits, in this capacitive circuits, you can use simply this equation here. With the help of this equation, now you can solve any problem related to that heat produced. So now let us write what this Ui and Uf, those terms represents here. So here I can write this Ui means initial energy stored in capacitor. So in some cases it may be zero. That means initially like uncharged capacitor, if you are considering for example, then the initial charge, initial energy stored in that will be 0, right? So it may be 0, or in some cases maybe some energy may be there here. So that is initial energy stored in that. And next, that U final. So then U final is so final energy is stored in the system. So this final energy is stored in the capacitors. And next, this H. So H is nothing but heat produced. H is heat produced in circuit. And next, this W. So now this is work done. So that means work done we need to write. And so now in that work done, that both the work done are included here. That means it may be some external work done or maybe internal work done. Internal work done is nothing but generally work done by the battery. And in general for us, most of the problems will be like changing the switches only, either switch on, switch off, or two-way switches will be there by shifting the switches here. Such a type of problems will be there. So then when you are switching that circuit here, when you are changing the switch position, then work done by the external agents in that process will be 0. So then only work done by the battery we need to write here. So write in detail about that work done. So here work done represents both work done by the external agent, work done by the external agent, and work done by the battery, work done by the battery. If the problem involves shifting the switches, then work done by the external agent is negligible. Therefore, work done can be written as work done is equal to only work done by the battery, right? And so now that work done by the battery, you can write here it as work done by the battery is nothing but our simply VQ formula we need to apply here. So then here this is V into delta Q we need to write. Therefore, this work done by the battery we can express it as which is nothing but the W in that. So then V into Q final minus Q initial we need to write here. So it is work done by the battery meaning. And in our most of the problems, the W means that work done by the battery only involved here, because most of our problems you can find, we will discuss some examples here, just shifting the position of the switch only. That means it may be connected, switched on or switch off, or if two-way key is there, shifting the switch from one position to the another position. So such a problems will be there. So in such a problem, the work done by the external agent will be negligible. Only we need to consider this. Only work done by the battery we need to calculate. So work done by the battery will be like this. And so now here work done by the battery, you need to observe this. Always you need to write work done final charge minus initial charge you need to write here. So then initial final, if suppose that final charge is more than the initial charge on that capacitor, then work done by the battery will be positive value you will get. So whereas if final charge is less than the initial charge, then work done by the battery will be a negative value you will get. So work done by the battery may be positive, may be negative, or may be 0 also, right? So then write that concept here. So generally we say that work done by the battery is positive when the positive charge is coming out of the battery, right? When the positive charge is entering the battery, then work done by that entering that battery in the positive terminal of the battery, then work done by the battery is negative. So mention that the work done by the battery may be positive, or may be negative, or may be 0 also, If positive charge if positive charge is coming out of positive terminal of the battery, if positive charge is coming out of positive terminal of the battery, then work done by the battery is positive. Work done by the battery is positive. If positive charge is entering the positive terminal of battery, if positive, that means you can mention that symbolically here for that point. So that means now this positive charge is flowing out like this, then positive work done. If positive charge is entering the positive terminal of the battery, if positive charge is entering the positive terminal of the battery, then work done by the battery is negative. Then work done by the battery is negative. And no work done means, if no charge is flowing in that, then work done by that battery will be 0. If no charge is flowing to that battery, then you can say that work done will be 0, right? And so now let us see some problems based on that. So for all of them, this is the fundamental equation what you need to remember here for all these heat related problems. And these problems are important, and all are, I am saying, only based on that equation. So I am taking a simple example like write that problem there. An uncharged capacitor of capacitance C, an uncharged capacitor of capacitance C is connected to a cell of EMF V. If once the capacitor is charged fully, then find heat produced in that circuit. And so now let us simply apply that our conservation of energy equation what we discussed now. So I am applying that conservation of energy here. So that initial energy is equal to work done, initial energy plus work done is equal to U final plus heat produced, right? And so now let us write those values here. So in this problem, the heat, that means initial energy stored here is 0, because it is already mentioned that initially the capacitor is uncharged. So that means the initial energy will be 0. No energy is stored in that capacitor there. And once that capacitor is switched on here, then final charge stored on this capacitor will be equal to Q is equal to CV. You can write this plate will get the positive and this plate will get the negative, and so that the potential difference across that capacitor will be CV. So that here initial charge is 0, and so final charge will be equal to CV. You can write, right? The final charge is stored on that capacitor, and therefore that final energy we can write this as so since that initial energy will be equal to 0, initially it is uncharged. Now this final energy we can write this as CV, and so therefore this final energy we can write this as half CV square we can write, right? That is the final energy stored in that. And now work done by the battery we can write this as so work done by battery. So according to our formula, work done by the battery is nothing but V into this final minus initial charge we need to write here. Q final minus Q initial we need to write, right? And therefore then this value we can write here as V into Q final is nothing but CV minus 0. So that is CV square. So CV square is the work done by the battery here. And let us substitute those values in this equation here. Therefore I am substituting in that conservation of energy equation. Therefore from equation 1, 0 plus CV square is equal to half CV square plus heat produced. Therefore this heat energy is equal to, so that means heat produced in that circuit will be equal to, I can write this as half CV square, right? So that is this heat energy produced in the circuit here. So that means in this you need to observe this, if a capacitor is just charged, the work done by the battery is this one. So this is the work done by the battery here. So that means from this what we are writing is work done by the battery is CV square. So that means the battery is doing that CV square. So half of that energy will be stored as energy in that capacitor here. Half of the work done by this battery. The battery is doing CV square work. Half of that, that is CV square by 2, is storing as energy in that, and remaining half of energy, half CV square, is appearing as heat energy there. That means if battery is doing a certain amount of work, then only that amount of half of that work done will be stored as energy in that system there, right? So that is heat energy produced just if a capacitor is removed. Capacitor is charged. So that means you may remember this 50% of for a single capacitor which is uncharged. If it is capacitor just by connecting a cell, so 50% of energy will be stored in the capacitor and 50% of energy will appear as heat energy in this conducting wires here, right? So now that is the problem. Now let us write another simple problem here. So let us write another problem. A capacitor of capacitance C, a capacitor of capacitance C is connected, is charged by connecting it across a cell, of EMF V, After completion of charging, the capacitor is removed from the circuit, removed from the battery. The capacitor is removed from the battery and reconnected to the same battery with opposite polarities. Reconnected with the same battery with opposite polarities. Then find heat produced in that circuit. So is it clear? Now this capacitor is charged here by using this cell. Now we know that initial charge stored on it will be CV will be there. Now we are removing this capacitor and we are reconnecting it to the same cell with the reverse polarities here. So negative plate is connected to the positive terminal and positive plate is connected to the negative terminal. Then generally can you say what will happen then? So then again the discharging of capacitor, that means the neutralization of the charge will take place first. That means at some instant again this battery, this is the low potential now. There exists some potential difference between these 2 points here, right? So as there exists some potential difference between those 2 points, this positive terminal will supply some charge here. So this we can assume like it is supplying some positive charge to this and this negative terminal is supplying some negative charge to this. And so now as the positive charge is supplied by this positive terminal to this, then charge on this will go on decreasing because already negative charge exists on that. So at some instant you will get 0. Is that still the potential difference exists between them, even the charge on this will become 0. So again the charging of capacitor will take place and so finally again you will get the same situation here. So that means now again you will get the same situation like charging of capacitor will take place like this. So this side now plus CV will be there and this side minus CV will be there and this is the cell. Is it clear? We are charging like this. From this position we are connecting like this. Now this is our initial situation here. So then after connecting this, at some instant now again the battery will continuously supplies the charge until the potential difference across the cell becomes equal to that of EMF of the cell or the terminal voltage, potential difference across the cell. So the potential difference across the cell means now this discharging, or that means neutralization of the charge will take place here, and then first and then once the charge on the capacitor becomes 0, then again charge on the capacitor goes on increasing. Positive charge on this plate will goes on increasing here until the potential difference is again V across that capacitor. So now this is our initial and this is our final situation here. So let us write the initial energies and let us write the total data there. So that means now I am writing this initial energy. Initial energy you need to take it as minus CV. because this is the minus CV is the charge on this, and therefore that initial energy. So initial energy will be half CV square. Now you can observe this. This energy will be irrespective of the polarities. Whether capacitor is placed positive plate is this one and negative plate is this one. Suppose half CV square is connected there. Even if you remove that, if that means even if you rotate the capacitor like this, the energy stored in that will be half CV square only, right? So if any charging or discharging is taking place, then charge on that energy on that capacitor may change. Energy stored in that capacitor may change. But just if you are rotating the capacitor, the energy stored in the capacitor won't change here. So that means now the initial energy here half CV square. Even if you rotate that, the initial energy will be half CV square only. That first goes on decreasing and then finally increase value. That means finally increase there. And so now you can write this, or you can simply verify by using our Q square by 2C formula. You may consider this Q value as this one, and you may apply this Q square by 2C formula. You can write here. You will get that expression. So right. And so now next similarly you may consider like a final. So final charge is plus a CV you need to write. So this is the final situation here. So this is our initial and this is the final. And so now the final energy stored is. So final energy stored will be still half CV square only, right? So the final energy is again the potential difference across this capacitor will be again V only. Initially also the potential difference is V only, but it is connected with the reverse polarities here. But finally also then this potential difference between these two plates will be V only. So that means final energy is also V only. Now work done by the cell. So work done by the battery we can write as V into our Q final minus Q initial we need to write. Therefore this is V into Q final is CV minus of minus CV here, right? So that is important term. Q initial is negative term. So therefore this is work done by the battery is 2 CV square you will get. That is the work done by the battery here. So one CV square is to neutralize the charge present on that, and another CV square is to charge the capacitor, which we discussed previously. Therefore now by conservation of energy, so by conservation of energy equation, so which is nothing but U initial plus W is equal to U final plus H. Therefore this heat produced is equal to U initial is half CV square plus work done is 2 CV square minus U final. So that U final is half CV square. That U final I am writing this side. So that is again minus U final we need to write. And therefore you can observe this, the heat produced is nothing but 2 CV square you will get, right? So it is the amount of heat produced in that circuits here. If you are taking like charging and discharging, then this is the amount of heat produced here, right? So that is the amount of heat produced in that circuit. So that means if you want to split that, you can write like so only basing on this equation you can solve any heat related problems here. So I will give one more numerical example. So let us solve that problem. For that I will explain some more problems based on that. So write that problem. A capacitor of capacitance 4 microfarad is charged to a potential difference of 24 volts, to a potential difference of 24 volts. Now the capacitor is removed from the source. And it is connected to a cell of EMF 12 volts such that positive terminal of the cell is connected to the positively charged plate. Then find heat produced. In the circuit. So right. So now initial it is charged to 24. The capacitance, what I said, I think 4 microfarad capacitance value, right? Yeah. Microfarad, and now it is charged to 24 volts here initial. So now let us write the initial data now. I am writing this initial data now here. The initial charge on that. So C into this V initial we need to write, because that initial and final potential difference are also different. So now these values we can write this as 4 into 24. So how much it is? 96 microcoulombs. And now the final charge. Can you say how much final charge will be stored on that? Now we are charging it by using a 12 volts battery here. We are charging that capacitor by using a 12 volts battery, and so that then this is positively charged and this is the negatively charged. And so then charging or discharging of the capacitor, once if you are connecting a battery to a volts of, for example, 5 volts, the final potential difference across the capacitor will be 5 volts only, if only capacitor is connected there. And if you are neglecting resistance of any such a wires, connecting wires, even though whatever may be the initial it may be charged to 20 volts, or initially it may be charged to 40 volts. So that means now here actually in this what will happen is the potential difference across the capacitor is more than that of the cell here, EMF of the cell. So that what will happen is some charge will flow from this capacitor to the cell here. So charge is flowing like this, positive charge is flowing from this positive terminal to the cell, and so that the charge on the capacitor goes on decreasing, and once the charge on capacitor goes on decreasing, potential also decreases. And so this process will take place until the potential difference across this capacitor becomes 12 volts, right? So once the potential difference across the capacitor is 12 volts, and then there is no potential difference, and so then charge is, the capacitor will reach the steady state there. So that means final potential difference across the capacitor is nothing but 12 volts we need to write here. Therefore it is C into V final we need to write, so which is V into 12. So which we can write this as 48 microcoulombs, right? And so now similarly we can write initial energy and final energy. Just the initial energy is half CV square, V initial square, half into 4 into this is 24 square. And so now let us keep that value, or we can simplify this as 2 into how much it is? 576 microjoules. Because this value, C value, we are substituting in microfarad, and so then automatically energy also will get in microjoules. And so this value you can write this as 2, 5, so 11, right, microjoules. And next similarly you can write for this final energy here. So that final energy we can write this as half into C into V final square. Sorry. So this value is nothing but half into C is 4 and V final square. V final is nothing but 12. So 12 square. So which is nothing but 2 into 144 microjoules, or which is nothing but you can write this as 288 microjoules. And so now then from this we can write work done. Next we need to find the work done here. So therefore this work done we can write this as work done by the cell. So now work done by the cell means here two potential differences are there. So which potential we need to write here? 12 volts is there and 24 volts is there. So just you need to write the final potential of the battery we need to write. So this final potential of the battery is nothing but this 12 volts here. So therefore our general formula is nothing but V into Q final minus Q initial we are writing here. Therefore which is, we can write this as potential difference across this battery is equal to now 12 into final charge is nothing but 48 and initial charge is minus 96. That is 96. And so that now you can observe this work done by the battery is negative we are getting here. So automatically that is nothing but what I said. Then that's why I am taking this example or this problem to get the clarity to you. So that means sometimes the work done by the battery may be negative, and when it is negative means when charge is flowing from capacitor to this battery here. Now you can observe that we are getting this negative value here. Work done that battery is negative. So which is this minus 12 into 48 you will get here. Again this value will be in microjoules because this charge is in microcoulombs here, and so then automatically this energy will be in microjoules you will get. And just by substituting these values in our conservation of energy, you can write that expressions there. And so therefore I can write this by conservation of energy. What we can write here, it is U initial plus W is equal to U final plus H. And therefore this H is equal to U initial plus W minus this U final. Therefore this H is equal to, and you can substitute those values here. U initial is nothing but you can write this as 1152 and minus this work done is negative, and its value is if I am like 15 to 600 minus 12. So 588, right? Minus this value, U initial value, final value is nothing but 288 microjoules. That means this total value will be in microjoules you will get. So that is the amount of heat produced in that circuits there. So like that you can calculate the heat produced in that circuits. That is a simple conservation of energy there, right? I think this value is 576 here. So let us change this value here. So that is for 1248 576. So then this is 576, and then you can write this as 288 microjoules. So that is the amount of heat produced here. So this only the same question only they may ask like multi-correct answer type, or they may ask like a paragraph question also, like heat produced or work done or change in energy. They may give the options like that. So that is, if you are calculating heat, then automatically all these calculations you will get automatically here. So now let us see some important problems based on this here. So now I am taking that problem like this here. This like a capacitor is connected to the two cells. So by using this two-way plug key. So this is our second position. Now say initially this first position will be there like this, and it is connected to this. So this is our first position. So this is our switch here. So now switch is initially connected to this. This value I am taking it as E1, and this is E2, and this is the capacitance C here. So now write that question. In the circuit shown in figure, the switch is connected to the position 1. The switch is kept connected to the position 1 for long time. Then it is shifted from position 1 to position 2. Then it is shifted from position 1 to position 2. Then find amount of heat produced in the circuit. So amount of heat produced in the circuit. So right. So that means initially our circuit is like this here. So that means initially you can consider this total it is connected here, right? And so now when the circuit is like this, then you can consider like these two EMFs are there here and both are oppositely connected to each other. So I am assuming that E1 is greater than that of E2. And so now here the net charge directly we can write here. So effective EMF will be E1 minus E2 you can consider because both are connected oppositely. And so that I can write this as Q initial is equal to C into like E1 minus E2 we can write. So because those two are oppositely connected, that means in series wrongly connected cells. So that effective EMF is E1 minus E2 we can write. And now similarly you can write the energy stored. So that initial energy stored means I can write this as half C V square. So that means V is nothing but E1 minus E2 whole square you can write here. So that is our initial energy. And next after changing the switch. So then once if you change the switch to this position here, once this is shifted to the 2, then this will be open circuit here, like, so that means now finally the circuit will be like this. So finally the circuit we can draw like this. So this is our second position. Now this is actually no need of drawing this part also actually because it is connected like this. So now this will be open circuit here. This is E1 and E2 and this is C. And initially and finally also you can observe that this plate only will get the positive charge initially now and finally also this plate only will get the positive charge here. So there is no any changes in the polarities there, polarities of the capacitor. Only as the potential difference across the capacitor is changing, there will be changes in that charge on the capacitor here, right? So now clearly you can observe that this is our terminal 1. So from 1 to 2 we are shifting that switch here, just we are turning the switch like this. So when you are shifting the switch from 1 to 2, then this cell is excluded, that cell is excluded from that circuit. And so now only the potential difference is a cell of EMF E1 is connected across this capacitor here. Therefore I can write this final charge as, so therefore this Q final is equal to how much charge will be there? C into E1. That is the final charge stored on the capacitor. And next you can write this final energy. So the final energy is nothing but half C into E1 square. So this is the final energy stored in the capacitor. And next we need to write about this work done. So from that you can calculate this heat produced here. So now I am writing this work done by the cell. So work done we can write this as final potential difference into like Q final minus Q initial we need to write. So here only you need to remember here, just I am writing the formula here, V into Q final minus Q initial we are writing in general. So that V means finally how much potential difference is connected, how much EMF is connected, that value we need to write here. So that this value will be equal to E1 into, now Q final is nothing but C E1 minus C initial is nothing but C of E1 minus E2, right? So that is C of E1 minus E2. Now let us simplify this equation here, you will get the work done expression. So C E1 square minus C E1 square and minus of plus C into E1 into E2. So therefore this amount of work done will be C into E1 into E2 you will get. So this is the amount of work done here. So now we can apply our conservation of energy equation so that you will get the heat produced. Therefore by our conservation of energy, U initial plus work done is equal to U final plus heat produced. Therefore our heat produced is equal to U initial is nothing but half C into E1 minus E2 whole square plus W value is C into E1 into E2 minus that final value we are writing here, this is half C E1 square, the final value. And you can simplify this. You can simplify this expression, just you can expand this so that you can simplify this value here. I am taking this half C common here, for example, from all the terms. Then here you will get like E1 square plus E2 square minus 2 E1 E2, and here you will get plus 2 E1 E2, because we are taking half also we are taking common, so we need to multiply this term with this 2. So minus E1 square you will get, right? So now you can observe that those terms will be cancelled there. So finally we will get that heat produced will be equal to half into C into E1 square. So E2 square, that E1 term will be cancelled, and finally E2 term will be there. So this is the amount of heat produced here, half C into E2 square, right? So this is the amount of heat produced in this circuit here. So this is a calculation what we need here. So that means work done we are calculating. So you can observe that for every problem we are doing the same procedure, whether it may be like a simple circuits like this, or if a numericals are there, our procedure is same for the heat calculations. So but these heat calculations are important. Heat calculations, and next we discuss about charge flowing through the switches. So those problems are important, and this is the procedure for that. And now let us see one more interesting question here. And all these are like Irido questions only, what we are discussing. This question is Irido, and next I will draw this another interesting question that is also from the Irido only. So now let us draw this circuit here. Now the two-way key will be here, and here one more capacitor is there here, and the battery is connected like here. So that this is epsilon, and so now initially we consider like switch is connected to this position here, say 1, this is terminal 1 and this is 2, and its capacitance is C, and this is C0 and this is C. So those are the capacitances of that circuit there. So now we need to calculate amount of heat produced when the switch is shifted from this position 1 to position 2. So initially it is connected in position 1. Now how much amount of heat is produced when it is shifted to the position 2. So note that problem. So in the circuit shown in figure, find amount of heat produced when the switch is shifted from position 1 to position 2. And here you need to identify this question first of all. So the initially capacitance, whatever capacitance is there here, initially can you say the effective capacitance? Suppose when it is connected to the position 1. Now these two capacitors are in parallel. So C plus C0 you will get, and that will be in series with this C. So that I can write this effective capacitance as C plus C0 into C by 2C plus C0 we can write. So right, that is effective capacitance of the system when the switch is connected to this one. These two are in parallel, C plus C0, that value is in series with this. Now suppose if you are shifting the switch from 1 to 2, when the switch is connected like this, when the switch is connected to this position 2, then again you can observe that, I will draw it again here. So again let us consider the situation like this. Now when these two are connected here, now these two are in parallel. So the capacitance is C plus C0, right? But here that C plus C0 is in series with this. So that means again you will get the capacitance is same, right? So that means initial capacitance is same and finally capacitance is also same. But still the some amount of that means we need to verify is there any charge flowing through the battery or not when you are shifting that. If no charge is flowing through that, then you can say that initial energy, whatever the initial energy stored in the capacitor and final energy stored in the capacitor will be same, and so that the heat produced will be zero in general if no charge is flowing to that. So we need to verify it carefully when you are shifting the switch, whether the charge is flowing through the battery or not flowing through the battery, you need to verify it carefully. As the capacitance is same, you can clearly say that half E effective into V square is the initial energy and half E effective into E square is the final energy. So there is no change in initial energy stored in the system or final energy stored in the system. I am saying about the system, total energy of those three capacitors there. So then just we need to calculate this work done value here. So let us come back to that our original given situation when the capacitor is, when the switch is in this position here. So initially it is connected like this, right? So now let us calculate the charge. And so the total charge drawn from the battery Q is equal to C effective into E we can write. So that it is C plus C naught into C into E by 2C plus C naught we can write. So that is our charge. And so that means I can say that this charge will be there, like this plate will get the positive and this plate will get the negative, and this is the Q here, the amount of charge on this. Now this charge will be distributed on these two capacitors. Now you can observe that this is negative and this positive plate, means then these plates will get the positive charge here. Suppose I am taking this as plus Q1 and this is minus, and this charge I am taking it as Q2 plus Q2, and therefore it is minus Q2 charge will be there here, right? So this is the charges present on these capacitors here. So now let us find this Q1 and Q2 values. As the capacitors are in series parallel, you can write this ratio here, Q1 by Q2 we can write this as C1 by C2. C1 by C2 means C0 by C you can write, because V is same for both of them, potential difference across them will be same, and therefore this value Q1 value we can write this as C0 by C plus C0 into the total charge we need to write here. The total charge is nothing but C plus C0 into CE by 2C plus C0 we need to write, and therefore finally we can write this Q1 is equal to the C plus C0 we can cancel here, C C0 by 2C plus C0 into E, right? So that is the charge present on this capacitor here, C0 capacitor. And similarly let us write this Q2 value here. So Q2 is also, now we can, this total charge we are dividing in this ratio here. So C by C plus C0 into the total charge. The total charge is again C plus C0 into C into E by 2C plus C0. And again this C plus C0 term will be cancelled. Therefore this Q2 value we can write this as C square by 2C plus C0 into E. So this is the final charge on this capacitors. That means charge on this third capacitor there. Now let us redraw the circuit finally. So right. So that means now once this circuit is, that means once if we switch the shift, if you shift to that switch, so finally we can draw this circuit as, the circuit diagram will looks like this is the one capacitor here, and now this is another capacitor, C0 will be there here. Now this capacitor is connected like this. So now this is our circuit diagram here. This part is there and it is not required for us. It is not connected here, right? And so now this is our E. And this is C0, this is C0, C and C. And so still here the important thing you need to observe here is still the effective capacitance will be same only. So that C effective will be equal to the same value will get C plus C0 into C by 2C plus C0 you will get. The effective capacitance will remain same. There is no change in that capacitance. Now just you need to verify, is there any change in the charges on this, that means is there any change in the charge on the capacitor, or from that is there any flow of charges taking place from the battery or not. Now let us write that, let us identify the charge distribution on those plates here, right? So now this arrangement, these two combination is exactly same as that of these two combination here, right? And now instead of this capacitor, the role of this capacitor is played by this one here, right? So that means that is a change what you can observe here. The total charge, there is no change in the total charge. If you are writing the total charge, you will get the same only. Epsilon naught into that E value we need to write, which you will get the same value there, right? And so now let us observe this. Now directly I am writing here, whatever the initial charge on there on this capacitor, now that amount of charge will be present on this capacitor here. So that means here plus Q will be there on this, because this battery is here, the charge distribution we are taking like this. So I am changing this battery polarities here. So the polarities let us take like this. So that this plate, because we are taking this as a positive plate and this is the negative, we are considering this. So the polarity will be like this. And then take here also the polarities of this battery like this. So this will be the positive plate here. We took the total charge calculation accordingly only. And so now here we are considering like this. Now this is the negative plate is connected here, so that this plate will be negative charge will be there on this Q, right? And so now the charges on this capacitor Q0 will be again the Q1 only charge only you will get here. The amount of charge present on the capacitor C0 will be Q1 only. But the polarities will be like this you will get. This will be the lower plate is now connected to this higher potential here or positive terminal of the battery. And so that this plate you will get this plus Q1 and this plate you will get this minus Q1 here, right? And so then next, charge on this capacitor. Now the role of this capacitor is similar to that of role of this capacitor in the initial circuit here. And so that now the charges on that again Q2 will be there. But again the polarities will be the lower plate will get plus Q2 and the upper plate will get the minus Q2 here. So that is the charges appearing on those capacitors. And now let us observe that is there any flow of charges taking place from the battery or not. So when the charge distribution is there like this. So the initially the situation is like this and finally the situation is like this. So that means now just I am observing this negative terminal here. That means the charge on this capacitor let us observe here. The charge on this capacitor is, if I am considering only this plate here, the negative plate of this C2 I am taking here. Then once if we switch the shift here, if there is any charge in the, if there is any change in the charge on this negative plate, that change must be due to this cell only, because now that plate is finally connected to the cell only here. If any change is taking place here, that change must be because of this negative terminal only. The charge is flowing along this direction only we need to consider here. And so that amount of charge, that means now definitely some change is taking place here. You can observe just by seeing the initial and final charges there. So initially on this plate is, so observe this point again here. So initially on this plate minus Q2 is there, right? On this plate minus Q2 is there. Now when this is in steady state, what we are doing is we are shifting the switch from here to here. When you are shifting the switch from here to here, the charge on this plate, it can't flow along this direction here. It can flow only along this direction here. But you can observe that the final charge on this plate is not Q2, not minus Q2, right? So the final charge on this plate will be plus minus capital Q we are getting here. That means the charge on this plate is changing. The charge on this plate is changing means that change must be supplied by the cell only, because it is only connected to the cell here finally after changing that shift. And so that definitely we can conclude that some charge is flowing to the cell here. So when charge is flowing to the cell, definitely there will be certain amount of work is done here. So then you can write this as the charge flowing along this direction. For example, I am writing here the charge flowing along the direction, we can write this as, so I can write this as final charge minus this delta Q, means the final charge minus initial charge we need to write here. So just if I write the final charge is minus Q and the initial charge is minus of minus Q2 we need to write. So I am writing this charge flowing along this direction will be Q2 minus capital Q we can write here. That's the amount of the charge flowing along this direction here. Is it clear? The final charge, the minus initial charge we need to consider here. And the final charge minus initial charge means we are taking like this. Let us take simply the example, like if you are taking this charge as some 100 coulombs, let us take here. And this charge is some 60 coulombs I am taking here, or minus 60. That Q2 value is minus 60, let us take here. Minus 60 coulombs, right? We are assuming like this. Minus 60 coulombs I am taking like this. Now, the charge on this, from this position, the charge on this plate is becoming minus 100, because this total charge is here, minus 100 coulombs charge is appearing here. So minus 100 charges, minus 100 coulombs of charge is appearing in the sense, so that what we can write here is that minus 40 coulombs should be flowing along this direction here, right? Minus 40, because already minus 60 is there, but now finally it becomes minus 100. So minus 40 coulombs is flowing along this direction. What we are assuming is 40 coulombs is flowing along this direction, we are assuming here. So is it clear? This is minus 60, we are taking an example, and total charge is 100. So now finally here the charge appearing is 100 coulombs, it is appearing here. So definitely minus 40 coulombs should be supplied by this negative terminal to this. Then what I am assuming is 40 coulombs of charge will be flowing along this direction here. 40 coulombs of charge, because that is nothing but what I am writing here. That means this is nothing but you can write this as minus 100 minus of minus 60. So minus 40. So that is nothing but what we are getting here. So that is minus 40 amount of charges flowing along this direction here. So that means if you are taking along this direction, minus 40 means we need to write this value as like, if you are taking along this direction, this charge you need to write this value as if you are taking along this direction, then Q minus Q2 is flowing along this direction, we need to write. And so then this direction will be like this only, we will get Q minus Q2. Or if you are representing Q2 minus Q, then we need to take like this, because charge is flowing from this negative terminal to this one, right? Is it clear? Just you may take that numerical example. Minus 40 should be supplied like this. Then what we can take is 40 coulomb charges flowing along this direction, we can consider that. So then that is the amount of charge flowing there. And so now you can write this work done by the battery here. So work done by the battery, we can write this as, so E into Q final or charge flowing, that means delta Q I can write here directly, the charge flowing through that cell. So delta Q I can write. So again if you are writing Q final minus Q initial, you will get the confusion here. So charge flowing through the cell, let us write, that is nothing but actually our Q final minus Q initial meaning there, delta Q. So that the delta Q is nothing but here you can write this value as, this delta Q is nothing but Q minus Q2 we can write. And so let us substitute those values here. So that Q value is, capital Q value is nothing but E into capital Q value is nothing but C plus C naught into CE by 2C plus C naught minus Q2 means we calculated already, this is our Q2 value here. So C square into E by 2C plus C naught. And so you can simplify this expression as, so CE by, you can take the term common. So I am taking like CE by 2C plus C naught I am taking common here. So the remaining terms will be like C plus C naught and minus C will get. So that C plus C naught term will be cancelled. Therefore this work done will be equal to C into C naught into E square by this 2C plus C naught you can write. That is the amount of work done here, right? So this is the amount of work done what we are calculating here, C into C naught into E square by 2C plus C naught. So this is the amount of work done. And so now we need to write the heat produced in this. The heat produced in this is nothing but in this problem, as I said, that will be equal to work done here. So that this value I can write here it as U initial plus U final, U initial plus work done. The heat produced is equal to work done, U initial plus work done minus U final you need to write. And so now here this initial and final energy stored in them will be same only, because the initial capacitance and final capacitance, effective capacitance are same. So initial and final charges are same. So these two will be cancelled here. So that means this implies we can write this heat produced is equal to work done only. So that work done is nothing but C into C naught into E square by this 2C plus C naught we need to write. So this is the amount of heat produced in that circuit here. So then solve this problem by your own. So after listening this class, solve this problem by your own here, so that you will get the clarity about that. So about this only you need to think it carefully there. So again I am taking one more numerical and I will explain in detail here. So like some 200 microcoulombs let us take here, this capital Q value. And this value I am taking like some 120 coulombs I am taking here, 120 microcoulombs, right? This is minus Q2 value. this Q2 value is minus Q2 values, I am taking minus 120. So now finally once if we switch this, once the switch is shifted like this, now the charge on this plate is becoming 200 minus 200 coulombs here, microcoulombs. So the initially the charge on this is 120 only, finally now it is becoming 200. So that means now what we need to write here is in this direction minus 80 coulombs should flow in this direction here. Minus 80 coulombs is nothing but what we are writing, capital Q minus small q2 value. This is the value, capital Q minus small q2 value is flowing in this direction. So that means now that minus amount of minus 40 minus of this value, minus of Q, capital Q minus small q is flowing in this direction. So now in reverse direction what we can consider here is Q minus Q2 value is flowing. That means this minus 80 is nothing but you can observe this. This is the minus of Q minus Q2 value here. Q is 200, Q value is 200 and this Q2 value is 120. So then 200 minus 120 will be 80 and minus sign is there, so minus 80 will get here. And then this instead of that I am taking that 80 coulombs is flowing in this direction I am taking here. So that is nothing but what we are taking. Instead of taking this minus of Q minus Q2 is flowing in this direction, I can take Q minus Q2 is flowing in this direction here. That is only important, and if you are able to understand that term, you can solve that problem easily, right? So then this is about this heat producer, some examples based on the heat producer here. In our next class I will explain about the charges flowing through the switches, and in that also again some heat calculations will be there. I will explain those problems in our next class. Thank you.